Hi, and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. For the past several years, I have been reading just an awful lot about emergency preparedness and exactly what it might mean for our own family as we have a desire to prepare for worst case scenario emergencies. And I have probably read dozens and dozens and dozens of lists about what we need to have in our bug out bags or our 72-hour kits. Kits designed to last, of course, for 3 days. Now, as I read down those lists, there are all kinds of really good suggestions, and then it comes to usually just a single line, and it says something like feminine sanitary supplies. A single line, and that's all it is. Now, I assume that the developers of these lists, of course, rightly so, believe that as women, we of course know what sanitary supplies we need. But from my perspective, there is a whole lot more to know about taking care of our hygiene needs in emergency situations that is rarely, if ever, even talked about. And so that's what we're going to do in this video when we come right back. In a time of emergency, when we might have to just gather up our loved ones and whatever supplies we can grab, our go bags, and get out, go in our vehicles and drive away, I think it is pretty important for us as women to take with us everything that we are going to need to feel as clean and fresh and even as pretty as we possibly can during situations like that. I know that personally, when I face difficult situations, if I go into those situations feeling that I have my makeup on, my hair done, that I am clean, it gives me a kind of a self-esteem or a foundation of confidence that I can then forget about me, and then I can go forward and do the things that are necessary to do during that day. And I sincerely believe that that's exactly how I will feel if we ever face an emergency. I want things with me that will help me feel as pretty and feminine and clean as I possibly can. And that means we have to plan ahead for a bug out bag. Now, what I have done here, I've prepared a couple of little kits here, and these are not my kits. My kits are in the other room in our bug out bags, but I have invented a hypothetical woman, and we're going to kind of unpack these things as if this is a hypothetical woman who may represent any of us, all of us, and we're going to kind of see what she has packed in this little pouch. Now, I really quite like this little bag. I might actually borrow this for my own kit. I just found this. It's been hiding up on my shelf for probably 10 years. I got it free at a cosmetic counter when I bought some cosmetics, and this was the free gift, and I just stashed it away and forgot about it. But it really is quite nice, and I would enjoy carrying my hygiene supplies in a little bag like this. Now, in this bag, I have packed just some things that I think most any woman would want, and these are just general hygiene things. This, on the other hand, is a bathroom kit, and we will get to this one in just a minute. But first, we're going to go quickly through the things that this hypothetical woman has packed in her general hygiene kit. And right on top is a little Ziploc bag of makeup supplies. Now, this hypothetical woman must be a lot like me, because I would not want to go into an emergency situation without my makeup. I'm a redhead. I have no eyebrows and no eyelashes when I wash all my makeup off. People don't even recognize me if I were to ever go out. I had that happen once, but I'm usually not ever seen without my makeup. Happened to me one time, that was enough. If you don't care about makeup, if you're fine, if you're as beautiful as you need to be au natural, then by all means don't take up the space for this makeup, because space is at a premium in our bug out bags. And especially in our hygiene kit, we don't want to use the large sizes of things. We want to scale everything down. This is a 3-day supply of what we'll need. So here's a comb and a brush. Here is a brand new toothbrush and a travel size of her favorite toothpaste. Here is a face cloth, and this is just a lovely extra. It's pale pink. It's just as soft as can be, and it would be so nice to have something soft and comfortable to either wash your face or do a little instant bath if you needed to. Here is a fingernail file. And here is a travel size of deodorant, some mouthwash. And oh my goodness, she is a lot like me, because look at this. This is a little purse size of perfume, her favorite perfume. Now there's not a lot in this still, but it is certainly enough to last for 3 days. And then the hotel sizes are perfect for the sundries that are left for you in hotel rooms. And this is a shampoo and conditioner and a body lotion, perfect size. I see those aren't in the camera, so let me move these back just a little bit. And then a couple of soaps from hotel rooms still in the packages. These are nice. Some lip balm. You never know when you might need some lip balm. Here's some dental floss. And, oh, a razor, you know, just in case. And fingernail clippers. I would not want to be without these if I broke a toenail or a fingernail. These are little instant application, single application eye drops. You just twist this off and put this in your eye, and so this is a really convenient thing. And then here is a travel size of hairspray. So yes, and oh my goodness, this is a very smart woman. Look what she has packed. Monistat Cream. You would not want to be without Monistat Cream in case you either have an ongoing yeast infection or you develop one while you are gone. And I, for one, am so grateful that this is now over the counter. Many of you probably are too young to know, but this used to be prescription only. We used to have to go to our doctor. He would have to examine us. Then we would have to get a prescription and take it to the drugstore and buy this as a prescription drug. But now we can just get it in the grocery stores and the drugstores, and it is fabulous. So I think our hypothetical woman is pretty smart in the things that she has packed in this bag. And of course, a hygiene bag like this is very personal. And so it needs to be personalized according to the things that you would like to have along with you to help you feel clean and pretty and fresh and whatever you need. There needs to be enough room in our hygiene bag to take the things that are important to us, and even some extra things that will help boost our morale or help us feel like we can get through the day not having to worry about us anymore. All right, we're going to set this aside for just a few minutes, and now we're going to talk about the bathroom bag. Now, this idea, this concept of a bathroom bag, I did not see on any of the many lists that I read. There were certainly things like toilet paper and things like that, but I think it is really important for every person in our families to have their own bathroom bag, and particularly for us women, it is important. Now, our hypothetical woman is still having her periods, and so her bathroom bag is going to be prepared according to those needs as well. Now, I want to kind of tell you a little bit about the history of a bathroom bag and how I developed that idea for me. About 15 years ago, Jim and I purchased our very first four-wheelers, and the little twin red ones, and we have just recently traded those in for some newer ones with, you know, vroom, vroom, a little more power, which I love. But in any case, it became apparent to me pretty quickly as we would take our four-wheelers out, and we just love to go four-wheeling. And sometimes we're away from our camper all day long, on trails, on dirt roads, and whatever. And of course, I'm going to need to go to the bathroom. And so it is, I learned quickly to be able to bring things that I would need to take care of my bathroom needs. And and during that time, I was still menstruating, and so I would pack a little bathroom bag with all of the supplies that I needed for that. And and I carry that right in we have cargo boxes on the back of our four-wheelers, and I have my bathroom bag, and because I'm out in the wild, it's not in a pretty case or anything like that. It's in a Ziploc bag, because who am I going to meet out there? Horses and cows and rattlesnakes? They don't care if things are pretty, so I just put it in a Ziploc bag, and it works just fine. And then for the past 20 years as a professor, I have led field trips into the field with college students, and we go out there to do scientific research and so on and so forth. But in preparation for those field trips, my staff and we always trained our students that they also need to have a bathroom bag, and it can be just a Ziploc bag. And it is important that they carry their own in their own backpacks, so that if they need to go to the bathroom out in the wild, they can do it. And there is a certain etiquette, certain rules that we would enforce. Well, I don't think we actually enforced them, but we would say that governed us while we were out in the wilderness. And one of those was that, if you have to take a bathroom break, fine. Walk out, find a tree, find a bush, get behind it, and whatever. But if you have to have a bowel movement, then we had one of these cute little fold-up shovels. And they were instructed that if they had to have a bowel movement, and these fold up, there we go, fold up just like this and are so easy and compact, and we always had one of these in our research vans. And Jim and I carry one in our four-wheelers as well as in our vehicle emergency kits. And we explain to them that if they have a bowel movement, then they are to bury it, but not the toilet paper. Don't leave paper out there, and that goes for women as well. And part of the bathroom bag includes an empty gallon bag, or whatever size is necessary for your needs, for your own personal trash to go in here. Toilet paper, and for women it would be pads or tampons or whatever. This past winter, when the government shutdown was ongoing for 30 days and all of the national parks were closed, I was absolutely appalled. We live here close by to several national parks, and people, aside from the damage that was done by people who don't have a conscience, there were people, many, many people that went into the parks, and of course the facilities were closed, the bathrooms were locked, and within just a day the trash cans were full. And instead of cleaning up after themselves, if they had some trash, whether it was toilet paper or a dirty baby diaper or whatever, they either tossed it out their window or just left it. And if they had to go to the bathroom, they found a spot and they would just go to the bathroom. And if it was a bowel movement, the feces, piles of feces, would just be left there all over the place. It was appalling, but it was also very instructive, because that was a little mini glimpse of what might happen when there is a breakdown in society, because that 30-day shutdown was just like a breakdown in society, although limited. And of course it hit the national parks really hard. But I thought, my goodness, if this should ever happen on a huge scale, this is probably what's going to happen. People are just going to throw their trash everywhere. Well, not me and not my family, and I hope not your family as well, because we can instruct our family how to appropriately go to the bathroom if facilities are not available. And so let's just open up this bag. Oh, and here is an individual hand sanitizer, which also is very nice. So in this bathroom bag, and I like this bag. This actually was one of the bags that I used to take on field trips with me, but it was not my bathroom bag. But this is nice because it's not see-through. It's not like a Ziploc bag. If we are in a group or in a shelter during an emergency situation, we can walk through a crowd with this little bag and no one is the wiser about what might be inside. So let's see what she has packed inside. Okay, so because she is still menstruating, she has enough pads in this bag to last her for a complete cycle. And even though we're only preparing for 3 days, it is a good idea to take enough supplies for your entire cycle. And here she has some tampons, also in a baggie, and those can go just right there for now. Put those where they can be seen by the camera. And she has some personal wipes. Always good. And, oh, she's very smart. Look what else she has packed. She has packed some Preparation H, just in case when she is out in an emergency situation and away from her own home, her own bathroom, and her hemorrhoids start acting up, then she has the medication in order to treat them. All right, now, what do you notice that I didn't pull out of the bag? Toilet paper. Because she's a lot like me, I no longer carry toilet paper in my bathroom bag. And let's just think about it for just a moment. As women, we are really at a disadvantage when we have to go to the bathroom out behind a tree somewhere. I mean, first of all, we have to drop our pants, and then we have to squat, and then with one hand we have to pull our pants out of the way so they don't get wet or soiled or whatever. We might have to pee, we might have to have a bowel movement, we might have to change a pad or a tampon, and we have to do that one-handed while we hold our pants out of the way. It's very, very awkward. And then on top of that, we have to fight with toilet paper. It didn't take me very many trips of having to go to the bathroom in the wild before I realized that taking a strip of toilet paper that I might need for my personal needs and trying to control that when the slightest breeze was going and it would blow all over the place and catch on weeds and catch on rocks, to just realize I wanted something different. So personal wipes can certainly take care of part of that. But I have a product I would like to show you as well. Look at these. If you can see these, these look like coins. And I have, I don't know, 20, 25 in here in this little tiny space. And toilet paper takes up a lot more space than this little packet does. These are compressed towels. They are called coin towels. And I'll show you how they work. They're just as clever as can be. And so you just put one right in the palm of your hand, like this. And then I always wear a Camelback when I'm out hiking or on my four-wheeler. And a Camelback is a bladder. It's a backpack with a bladder in it. Mine holds 2 quarts of water. And the hose comes over my shoulder so that when I'm riding or hiking, I can just take that hose and put it in my mouth and take a drink. Or I can squeeze some drops of water right into my hand. Now, I don't have that Camelback on, so I'm just going to use this bottle. And I'm going to pour just about, I hope you can see that growing. Let me compare. So there is the comparison size there to see how much that has grown. So it immediately absorbs all of that water. I think, in fact, it can probably absorb just a little bit more. It's only about a tablespoon that is needed. And so you just put that and it just absorbs it. And then you can unwrap it. And it's just exactly moist to the right degree. And it's large enough that you can take care of all of your bathroom needs probably with one of these wipes. And they're a little bit stretchy. And if you fold it strategically, you can get 4 wipes with it. So here's one wipe, then here's one wipe, and then here's one wipe, and here's one wipe. I lost track of how many that is. And then when you're done with this, you just fold it up and put it in your trash bag. Or you can also, if you have a tampon or a pad, you can always just set that right in here and roll it up so the blood doesn't show or whatever you need. And then you can just pop that right into your trash bag and away you go. And so these are very, very convenient. I actually carry these with me all the time. I have a little package in my purse as well and carry it with me at all times. And because I'm very fair complected, my red hair again, I'm very susceptible to heat stroke. And so these are also wonderful to just dampen if I'm out on a hot day and I feel myself getting way overheated. Then I can just dampen one of those and cool my face and my neck. I can even leave it stuck right here in my shirt until it dries, and that really helps as well. Also, they are washable. You can wash them 2 or 3 times before they disintegrate. Now, I would never wash and reuse one that I'd used for bathroom wiping, But for others, it helps cut down on having to take paper towels and other things as well. Now, if this is our hypothetical woman and she needs to pack for menstruating, what about perhaps an older woman who has a little bit of trouble with incontinence? Every time you cough or you laugh or you sneeze, you leak a little bit of urine. Well, incontinence pads could also go in your bathroom bag, along with personal wipes and these little coin tissues and hand sanitizer and anything else we might need to take care of ourselves. So a bathroom bag also needs to be personalized for the person who belongs to it. And so this is really a good idea to think about as well. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And there's one more thing that I want to show you in terms of bug out bags. Now, if you should have in your household young girls, age 11 or 12, who have not yet had their first period, they haven't started their menstrual cycle yet, it might be just a good idea to pack a little kit for them as a first-timer kit. And I looked all over the internet. They have these, you can buy them commercially. Some of them come in a big box like this, and they have all kinds of little surprises in there, along with all of the sanitary products that a young girl would need. I don't think it would be very easy to bug out with something that size. So I just put one together. This is just a little school pencil box that I had on hand. And I thought, you know, if I had a granddaughter, or years ago, any one of my young daughters, and we were doing this, what would I want them to have? So here it is, personal trash bag. Here are some pads. Here is a package of 20 panty liners. A little card of Midol in case they have cramps. So a painkiller. Which reminds me, I didn't put a painkiller in this hypothetical woman's kit. And I would certainly, well, in mine, I have Advil, which is my go-to painkiller. So make a note of that. Here is a little purse kit of those coin tissues. So I would show her how to use these. Hand sanitizer, personal wipes, and then for a little treat, a little package of Dove chocolate, just to help her feel a little bit special. So this is a first-timer kit. And if you have a daughter or someone in your household who is of that age, you can either help them put one of these together for themselves to carry just in case, or you can slip it into your own to have on hand just in case. All right, now, this bug out stuff aside, we now need to talk a little bit about what to do in case of long-term emergency situation. What do we need to store for feminine hygiene, for our personal body care? What do we want to have on hand for either a 3-month supply, a 6-month supply? Jim and I are preparing a year's supply of things. So if we were to go through this kit again, it would be pretty much everything in this kit we would want to have a year's supply of. A year's supply of toothbrushes or toothpaste or deodorant or shampoo or whatever, all of those things. But what I really do want to talk about is in terms of feminine supplies, sanitary supplies. How do we prepare for having a year's supply of those? Well, I learned so much when I was doing the research for this video. There are things going on out there that I had no idea are happening, and I'll share those with you in just a couple of minutes. But we pretty much have now two choices. We have the disposables, which many of us are used to. That's certainly what I used during my time. And the thing of it is, the downside with using disposables is nobody's going to come along and pick up trash after us. In times of emergency, normal services are going to be disrupted. We are going to have to take care of ourselves. We're going to have to clean up our own messes. And so we will have to prepare a way to take care of garbage, because anything with blood on it, any of the things that were left out in the national parks, attracted wild animals and insects and is just a rich source of food for disease-producing organisms. So we want no part of that. And so we will need to, for sure, have a way to either burn things that are combustible and bury the rest, or just bury everything. And think about that, having to take care of your own trash. How much trash do you produce during a period? And so that will have to be dealt with one way or another. Now the alternative, and this is what I didn't have a clue about when I started my research on this, is that they now sell, and I suppose they have for a long time, washable pads, reusable pads. And I know that may sound foreign to you if you were like me and didn't know anything about it. But I was surprised at the number of women who, and I read a lot of websites, a lot of comments from women who are using these cloth pads. And for the most part, they have nothing but good things to say. They are very comfortable, they're very absorbent, they don't leak, they don't chafe, and they have fewer infections. And all around, they're just a whole lot more comfortable with them. Now, the downside with those, of course, is that they would have to be washed. And so we would have to also stock whatever it would take to keep those pads clean after every month's cycle so that we would have them to be able to reuse. Now, I was really curious about these. And so I just decided I was going to order some. And so I did. And I ordered a set of 6, and here they are, on Amazon. And these, it turned out that these were about $2.25 a piece. And they have little wings on them. And the way this happens is, if this is the crotch of your panties, you put the pad right here, and then these little wings fold around and they snap on the back side of the crotch of your panties. Now, I don't know what size I ordered, but these are pretty long. And, you know, depending on the type of underwear that you wear, these, if the wings don't work for you, then you could also just pin them in place as well. But this is bamboo fabric, and it is supposed to be water resistant, water repellent, and so you're not going to have any leaks, which is really good. But the great thing about these is that that they are made in lots of different sizes and lots of different weights. And so you can have panty liners with these wings, and sometimes these wings don't look just like this. Sometimes the wings are just out here in a little triangle. So it's a little pointy triangle on each side that then flaps around. But from my perspective, these full sideways wings would hold them in place a whole lot more firm, I think, than just the little flap coming out to the side. But you can buy these in overnights, heavy days, and they even make these for incontinence. And how easy would these be to make? And there are a ton of YouTube videos on how to make your own. And also, cottage industries have sprung up everywhere. Lots of them are on Etsy. And so I did a lot of price comparisons across everything that I could find. And these are on the cheap end. These are about $2.25 a piece. The most expensive ones are about $15 a piece. But boy, you could make them for a whole lot less than $2.25 if you know how to sew. But here's how you use these. And so if you are on your period and you leave the house in the morning, you just snap one in place. And I'm talking about society right now and not in an emergency situation. And so if you go to school or to work, and in the middle of the day sometime you need to change your pad, then you remove the soiled pad, and here's what you do. You fold it in half with the blood on the inside, and then you fold it in half again, and then you bring the wings around, and you simply snap the snap in place, and it makes this nice, neat little package, just like this. Now, you can also carry clean ones in your purse like this, and who's going to know what this is? And so you can just keep these loose in your purse, 2 or 3 of them, however many you think you might need during the day. In an emergency situation, you would do very much the same thing. And if you are away from places and you have a soiled one, you don't want to put this down in your purse. And so this little set came with an added bonus of what they call a wet bag. And so it's just a little zippered bag, and it is waterproof. And so you can just you can put your soiled one right down in here. This would probably hold about 4, which certainly should take most of us through the day. And then you can just put this back either in your bathroom bag or in your purse or whatever. Now, cleaning them is also a little bit of a procedure. You don't just throw them in the laundry. And so you would keep them in here until you got home, or if in emergency situation, back to camp or whatever. And then you would need to have a small bucket, like about a gallon size, with a lid of water. And fill that about 3/4 of the way full of water, and then put a couple of tablespoons of white vinegar in the water. And the white vinegar would make sure that the blood didn't set. And so even if whether you brought them home from school or work or whatever you were doing in your wet bag, you would unsnap them, put them in the bucket, or if you were at home, it would just be right beside the toilet. You would take care of your needs right there on the toilet, remove your soiled pad, and then just put it down in that bucket. And then at the end of your cycle, you would have, 20, 25 soiled pads, and so you would empty out the vinegar water and draw another tub of water, and in that you would put either hydrogen peroxide or OxyClean or some other cleaning agent that is known to be able to take care of blood stains, and you would just hand soap them and wash them and scrub them, rinse them, and then put them someplace to dry, and then put them away. And so, of course, for these to work well, we would have to have a source of water so that and cleaning supplies so that we could take care of these. And even if this seems very foreign to us and we wouldn't even think about doing this, it might be nice to store some of these anyway. Put in your supply of disposables, but have some backup, because in the event that you would run out of your disposables and we couldn't get to a store, or the stores no longer carried those kinds of things, which could be very likely depending upon the emergency situation and how long it lasted, then we would have these as backup, because who wants to cut up towels or sweatshirts to make our own pads that would just leak through because they don't have this fabric on it that is moisture proof. So it might be a good idea. And if you decide to do that, you might also want to try them out when times are good, so that you're not trying to adjust to too many things when things are in an emergency state. All right, now there's one more thing I want to show you that also this was an education for me. I didn't know about the washable pads. I also did not know about menstrual cups. This is a new concept for me as well. So I had to order one just to see what it was like. And so the brand on this one is Blossom. I think there's also one that is called Diva. And they come in a couple of sizes, so you kind of have to figure out what size. And of course it comes with a nice little pink polka dot carrier. And this is a menstrual cup. And it holds about 1/4 of a cup of liquid. I measured. I also read a scientific paper. I was curious to know if any scientific research had ever been done on about how much blood a woman loses during her period. And you're not going to believe how little it is. It is like about 1/2 cup. Maybe with people who have a heavier flow, it could be up to 3/4 of a cup, but it's under a cup. I had no clue. But anyway, the way that these work is similar to a tampon, but the blood just collects right down here. And so you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again. And then you just insert it in your vagina just like a tampon. And once it's in there, it opens up, and then it seals around the walls of your vagina. And this can be in place for 12 hours, and it will catch all of the blood for 12 hours. And then when you are ready to change it, if you are in a public restroom, then what you might need to do, and I would probably take a bottle of water in the restroom with me if I possibly could. you'd have to run your finger up and push it in one side so you break the seal. And then with this little stem right here, you just pull it out. And it's full of blood. And so you would just then dump that blood into the toilet. And then you could take one of your little towels or a personal wipe or some toilet paper and just wipe all the blood out of the inside, clean it up as much as you can in a public setting, and then just fold it and slip it back in for another 12 hours. And if you were at home and you pulled it out, then of course you could go to the sink and rinse it out, clean it out before you inserted it again. But this isn't a bad idea because it takes care of everything that you might need without having to have washable pads or throwaway pads. So something to think about anyway. I know I certainly got an education, and I think it is pretty cool, the things that are on the market today for us. A couple of products I wanted to show you. Here is the package that these coin tissues come in. And because we're not going to store a whole lot of toilet paper just takes up such a huge volume. And I know that you can buy emergency toilet paper and it's packed in a flatter situation. But for my money, this is a whole lot better. And I always benefit from a little bit of a moist cloth anyway. So these are great. So we have some boxes of this out on our emergency supplies. And then in terms of personal wipes, I discovered these at Costco, and these are baby wipes, ultra soft. They're made of Tencel, and they have aloe and chamomile, and so they're very mild. And in this box are 9 packages just this size, and this is 100 wipes. And let me show you what size they are. They are this size, so they're a nice size. And they also would double. They're very similar in size to these little coin tissues. And they're about 2 cents a piece. There are 900 in here, and this box is $20. So this is what we're storing, several boxes of these to have, and they'll last us for a year easy. And then we can use them for multi-purposes, for bathroom, toilet paper substitutes. And again, they fold easy and can be put in an individual trash if necessary, or however your family is going to deal with waste and refuse when the trash man no longer comes. So these are very, very convenient, and I really recommend these. These are great. So that pretty much is what a look inside a hygiene kit. And I sincerely hope that as we prepare to bug out or to live from just the supplies that we have stored, that we will think about ourselves, it is not selfish for us to want to be in as good a condition as possible so we can deal with all of the rest of the things that we as women always have to deal with. Taking care of the family, preparing the food, doing a whole lot of extra things in emergency situations, and just having the sense of well-being, of being clean and fresh and as pretty as we can be, will go a long, long way as we deal with emergency situations. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and we will return again soon. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.